So, I made a game. For the longest time, I wanted to make a game. I wanted to have a game released under my belt in the public and maybe have it up on Steam and start selling it or whatever. And I tried to do that with a couple of colleagues, with a couple of friends here and there, but I'm assuming this is like a common issue with the game development scene, at least in the early stages of people who want to do this, which is you have an idea, you want to make it, you try to do it, something fucks up, and then you don't. And it never gets released. Then you try a different idea, yada 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 yada. Nothing gets released. I got close once a few years ago, but that didn't work out. And at this point, I think this was 2 months ago, I thought to myself, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna rely on anyone. I'm gonna learn what I can, and if I can't do anything, like if I can do a specific something that I need to do to progress through the game, I'll say screw that thing. What's the easiest path? Let's go do that, and put a time limit on myself so that I need to finish this game around this time limit. And I put the deadline. I put the simplest things I need to do, and I did a game where I can do it. I'm not a programmer. You could say I'm more of a game designer. Nor am I a coder. So what were my options? I played around with Unity, I played around with Unreal, and I went with Unreal. It's the way to go for me because UI is simple, the UI is sexy, and you have to just deal with blueprints. I didn't understand much of anything, but I'm just following the tutorial and things are working out and I'm using templates. So what was the game that I could do, or that I knew that I could do with the least amount of effort, with the least amount of knowledge acquisition? That would be a first-person walking simulator. Yep. And how did that journey go? Well, considering that I had this mentality when I was making this game, let me put a name to this mentality. That mentality is called fuck it. The fuck it mentality is the best mentality in my opinion, considering what I'm seeing from a lot of people in the gaming industry, from friends or from people I don't know in the industry. Like I've seen a lot of videos about this and posts about this. And what does the fuck it mentality do? Well, you don't know how to do it. Fuck it, do the easiest way to do it, or don't do it at all, just move on with the next thing. And that's what I did. So I used Unreal, I wanted a walking simulator, and I wanted to finish it within a 1 month period. And I didn't care about the quality of the game, I didn't care about how long the game was, I didn't care about the visuals. So what I did is, let's say I went to ChatGPT. So here's what I did. I went to ChatGPT, I told him, I want a story, write me a story similar to a game called The Stanley Parable. I love that game, by the way. And I told it, hey, make me a story that's similar to that game, Stanley Parable. And the main character is called Timmy, and the scenario is it's about him making choices. He has the ability of making choices now where he couldn't have, he didn't have the power to do choices previously. So it may be the story. I took it, I edited it, and yeah, I got my story done from using ChatGPT. Once that's done, from that I started like brainstorming, okay, how should the story be laid out, how many levels do I need, etc, and I think I came around with like, I don't know, I can't remember, like 5 to 10 levels, which is, and these levels are basically just point A to point B, one line, you just move forward, you hear some audio logs from the story, and that's it. And you make choices, but in the game, well, I'll get to that. And you make choices, and depending on the choice, you load in a different level, and you hear different audio logs. Yeah, that's what walking simulators are. You just move and hear somebody talk. You hear a story. So, yeah. So I made the story using ChatGPT with the help of ChatGPT. And I figured out how many levels that I needed, how they should look like, or whatever. And in terms of how they look like, I went with... I was gonna go with going to the marketplace for Unreal to get some maps or whatever, but I even thought, this is too much time to select. I'm just gonna make all of my levels just a bunch of white cubes and shapes and sizes and etc. And that's what I did. I just made a building with cubes. I made a pathway with cubes, trees with cubes, just a bunch of cubes that I can just morph around with and rotate and all of that stuff. Because, fuck it, I don't care, I just want to release a game. So yeah, I made my levels with those, watch a few tutorials and level transitions, how the audio would trigger, how to put a video on the game, menu, pause menu, all of that stuff. I didn't even bother with an options menu. I should have actually. Fuck it. Yeah, and so once that was done and once that was settled, I had a friend work on the game as well, in a sense of him doing the voice acting. He has a beautiful, deep voice with a British tint. And yeah, once the story was done and he recorded it with his fancy mics, he loves mics. He's an, what are they called? Audiophiles. He's an audiophile. And yeah, I took the audios from him, cut them up, put them in the game, and the game was done. I made a trailer, put it up, put the game on itch. I didn't want to put it on Steam, but I think itch.io was a good step. And I finished the game. I released it with a trailer, with an intro sequence and all of that. And I didn't put more stuff. I even removed stuff so that I can, progress to finish the game, progress in finishing the game. And it's out now. It's called Timmy's Choice. It's on itch, and I'll put a link to the itch page in the comments and in the description. But yeah, a VTuber, this is just not marketing stuff. A VTuber made a game. But no, yeah, I made a game and I'm happy with it, and it's definitely satisfying, and it pushed me now, because now it's in my head right now, I finished the game with this fuck it mentality and without relying on anybody. And now I'm making a new game. I'm not going to share much now, but it's also another walking simulator. However, because of my let's finish a game realistically with my current capabilities, it's gonna be with the same mentality. However, it's gonna be a little bit bigger, because since now that I've proven myself that I can make a game, and the game, by the way, was 10 minutes. And the choices, by the way, there's only one choice in the first level, right or left. The other levels don't have choices, because there's a secondary door which will tell you we didn't have funding to make the game, and that's one of the points where I was like, fuck it, no more story, just add if you had more funding we could have developed it, whatever. But yeah, with the second game, since that I've proven myself that I could do it in this first game, the second game is going to be a little bit bigger. I already bought assets, a map asset for it, and I'm gonna have a proper main menu, a pause menu, options, a nicer story, a kind of a better polish to it, and I'm aiming for the game length to be somewhere around 1 to 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. and release it on Steam as well as a commercial product. Like I think I'm gonna release it for about anywhere between $5 to $15 depending on how I see it in the end. I'm already working on it, but right now there's like a bunch of new games that came out that I want to finish, so as soon as that's done I'm gonna continue back working on it. And once that game is done, where I've proven myself that I finished a proper game that's kind of lengthy, and released it on Steam. It's a commercial product under my belt now. After that, there's still 2 other games I want to develop. The third game is going to be similar, but executed in a different way. That's more information on that yet to be announced. And the fourth game is going to be it's not going to be as similar like the rest. It's going to be completely different. However, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it. That also depends on the template I'm using or the assets I'm using, so on and so forth, if they even work. If it doesn't work, then I'll ideate on a different game. But yeah, the main point here is, or like the main idea I want to convey for those who are potentially struggling to release a game is downscope. If you can't figure something out, fuck it. Do a different solution, do a different whatever, so that you can continue progressing the game. And if you're at a point where like, it doesn't look good, fuck it, release it. I love this fuck it mentality that I've like thought of and like I'm using. Just fuck it, release it. You'll enjoy it. Like you will feel satisfied, even if it is shit in the end. Even if you don't like how it ended up. At least you released it, at least you finished it in a way. And I think that's more valuable than not doing anything with a project you started and just leaving it, and to start something else that you will also not finish and leave it. So yeah, main message, fuck it. Okay, I guess see you next time. Until I guess when I release my new game, I'll mention it. Okay, see ya. Yep.